The most powerful moments in Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 8. The first episode back since the mid-season finale titled Point and Shoot was one that maybe topped Episode 7, which I thought was going to be difficult to do. With an episode that added to the death toll, allowed us to see a different side to certain characters, and started the second half of the final season with impact, it was an episode that didn't lack powerful moments. So with that, I thought I'd take a look at the episode and call out what I think the most powerful moment is. So let's get into it. Here is the most powerful moment in Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 8. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Point and Shoot was a standout episode that followed on from the night that we witnessed in Plan and Execution, Episode 7 of Season 6. In the aftermath of Howard being shot by Lalo, we spent the entirety of it seeing Lalo's plan get underway in the hopes of taking out Gus. However, we saw it take a turn that was unexpected, and in that moment we saw Lalo succumb to the meticulous thinking and planning what Gus did in order to ensure that the moment that they met was carried out exactly how he intended. With an episode like this, it brings moments that could have been the most powerful, but just fell ever so slightly short when compared to some others. For example, a moment that was close was when we witnessed Kim lash out at Mike. I found that to be something that, although so small, and it took up hardly any runtime whatsoever in the episode, it stood out. We heard her say to Mike, "You said you were watching us. Where were you, huh?" This was after we heard Kim explain all that had just happened at her apartment. Why she was at Gus's house, what she planned on doing, and that Lalo was at the apartment with Jimmy. After that, she then exclaimed that sentence. Earlier on in the season, Mike met her and informed her that somebody would always be watching over her and Jimmy, to make sure that the moment that Lalo turned up, there would be people there to inform Mike and the team, and they would be able to take him out and keep them safe. However, as we saw, this definitely wasn't the case. When Kim uttered that statement, she did it in a way that expressed fear, anger, disappointment, and helplessness. She was fearful of what was going to happen, angry at what was going on and that Mike wasn't watching, disappointed in Mike for not watching over them even though he said that he would, and helpless in the sense that she knew that in that moment she could do nothing to save Jimmy. It was a moment that, even though it didn't play a large role in taking up time in the episode, it struck a chord with me and made me feel a lot of things. However, the moment that I believe is the most powerful in the entirety of the episode is the moment where Gus killed Lalo. I thought this for a number of reasons. The mere thought of Lalo's impending return throughout the entirety of Season 6 had been inflicting so much fear and paranoia in Gus's mind, to the point where he'd seemed like a different character. It had been consuming him completely. We saw him reacting to noises that would normally cause no bother, and keeping one eye open constantly, all for a man that everybody perceived to be dead. It was an 8-episode build-up that delivered the impact. We saw the pre-work that was done for this moment in Episode 5 of the show, where we saw Gus underground prepping in case this moment were to ever arrive. Gus specifically placed his weapon to where he knew it would be, he counted how many paces it would take to get there, and he unscrewed the power supply for the light slightly, so he'd be able to cut the lights if he wanted to turn it into complete darkness. It showed how much thought went into it, and the reminder of this by the shots of each individual step in this episode being highlighted was perfectly done and allowed us to know what was coming in a subtle way. Gus didn't have the upper hand at all in this scene. He was being videoed as Lalo was threatening him, bullying him around, and ordering him to do things whilst pointing the weapon in his face. But Gus knew himself that if the encounter were to ever happen, it had to happen in the laundromat, where he felt as in control as he possibly could. And this is exactly what we saw happen. We witnessed Gus give out a Nacho-esque speech, like it were to be his final one, where he stated how all of the Salamancas that have fallen is because of him, before then proceeding to carry out his plan. He cut the light, ran to his weapon, and then fired at Lalo, killing him. It was a moment that provided excitement, thrills, devastation, and sadness at the loss of a fantastic character in Lalo, but also satisfaction at the fact that the plan had all worked out as Gus intended. After we witnessed Gus kill Lalo, you could sense just how much it meant to him, due to him continuing even after the rounds had emptied and the heavy breathing persisting. It was a moment that was incredible, one of the season's finest. Lalo, a fantastic character in the show, got the farewell and exit that I feel he deserved. And that, along with everything else, is the reason why I believe it's the most powerful moment in episode 8. So, there you have it. The most powerful moment in Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 8. If you want to see more videos on Better Call Saul, such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you want to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review next, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What was your most powerful moment? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.